I am Rita Henley Jensen. I'm editor-in-chief of Women's eNews. I want to thank the New York City Agenda for being our co-sponsor, and we really want to meet our audience, and so it's such a thrill for us to have you all here. So thank you for coming. With that, I will introduce the fabulous Francine Moccio. Francine directed Cornell University's Institute for Women in Work. That's a very famous institute. That's done incredible work. Yes. For the past 20 years, and co-directed the new Paradigm Project on Work, Life, and Family at Cornell as well. She's now a consultant for the Feminism and Legal Theory Project at Emory University Law School in Atlanta, as well as for New York-based National Women's Organizations. We are delighted, I think you can tell that, we're delighted to have you, Francine, and your panel to share their experiences.
I really want to thank Women eNews and the whole staff who worked so hard, and Rita for being a very brave soul to host this where no one would touch it with a 10-foot pole, literally, in New York City. Believe me, I tried. I do want to say, you know, all of these events on labor, the Triangle Shirt Race Fire, and all of the rich history of women's labor organizing in New York is wonderful. But I think we've missed a part of that history, and that's why I wrote Livewire. Because here we have women who are alive and well and have been through the experience. And tradeswomen, I'm going to show you some percentages as we go through the presentation, are a very small number in the specialty trades. However, they are probably the most important feminist contribution and organizers in the labor movement, because they have really gone where no woman has ever gone before. That was a glorious t-shirt, right? And also what they have done in breaking into this male-dominated industry, they've said that there are no boundaries for the categories of gender. And in that way, they have really literally expanded what it means to be human. And I just, you know, I applaud you so much for that. You know, it's difficult to write a book like this. It doesn't take everybody 20 years like it took me. But in writing it, I had to reconcile some things. One of them was, how do you get it right and make sure that you represent people in the way that it's as close as the truth as possible. I also had to reconcile about the union movement, which I was very dedicated to and still am, but how they were going to receive this, which was not well, in New York City, and how I was going to mitigate that. And I said, well, that's fine, you know, they can't take the heat, just get out of the kitchen. But I also want to reconcile what it is to represent the experiences and lives of these women who are very, very courageous in going out, excuse me, every day on the construction site, raising issues, raising questions, having people look at them like, you know, they were really going to come after them, putting up with harassment and also institutional barriers. And I do want to tell you that before this evening, I got a phone call from a woman who wants to remain anonymous. And she told me that the local was going to be looking at who attended this event tonight. And I said to her that I will be making sure to get a list of who attended this event tonight. That's right. Because if they're not working tomorrow,
they're not here.
We're going to have, you know, a big problem. So I just wanted to make sure you put your name down somewhere. Okay. Why study the electrical industry? I was a professor of labor studies. I taught apprentices. Van Osdale was really, truly a visionary. He gave apprentices labor history courses in addition to the apprenticeship to get them to understand how you organize in a highly contingent, very casual, and very seasonal work. The essence of the findings, I guess we want to see some of the statistics. One of the things I really wanted to address was the fact that everyone, we would say, well, gee, it's the attrition rate, or, you know, we're losing people. So I really wanted to know what was going on, and I was able to get the census data from 1970, 1980, 1990, and 2000, and compare that data with men of color to see, well, what was it? Was it that women came into the industry and were allowed in and were hired by contractors when the local markets were good? Or, you know, was it sensitive to that? Or was it the feminist movement that, you know, was really the factor that pushed women in? And the photos we have here are the pioneers who first came in, and you're going to see them in the statistics, but we first have to view them in the flesh. Graduation is the first one.
That was the first
to personalize
graduation,
this, right?
and we paid for it ourselves.
Okay. The one right here is what?
Labor Day Parade.
Labor Day Parade. United Trades.
Right.
United Trades.
And this also attests, this is documentary evidence, the fact that you are dedicated labor unionists, right? Okay.
It was in Battery
That's
Park
a shanty?
City. Yeah, the shanty of Laura Brunilda and Evan Ruderman in Battery Park City.
Why I was wearing red pants.
There we are. That's Evan Ruderman.
Bridge.
Her father is here, fiance here. And that's the infrastructural work as well that was worked on in those days, in the 70s. Some of the importance why women should come into this industry. First of all, you know, women are in households that are poor, relatively in great numbers. The construction industry in New York City pays well. The mean hourly wage is about $38 an hour. Also, they're unionized, which means that there's, to some extent, job security and benefits, pension and health. And there are jobs. The federal stimulus program has created, you know, as of October 2008, and then as of February 2009, federal jobs on the following sites: the World Trade Center, the Brooklyn Bridge, Columbia University, West Harlem, the restoration now, these are current, of Grand Central Terminal, the Museum of Natural History, the facade, and also, you know, the Atlantic Yard. So there are projects for women to work on. Now, these are federally funded projects, which means that, like it or not, you want to change the law or not, that's totally up to you. It's a free country. The way that the law stands now is, as of Executive Order 11246, when there's federally funded work, then the contractor has to comply with the standards of Title VII, and that is not to discriminate. So let's see what happened when we go to our table. Men come in through Van Arsdale's voluntary group in 1963, makes a deal with Kennedy, says let the apprentices work on skyscraper work, and then, you know, we'll let in 1,000 men of color. Men of color go in, not many of them stay, however they did go in larger numbers. If you look at women, and this is 1970 is 1.2%, 1980, this one, 1.5, 1990, you see that, 1.9, and 2000, 2%. Now this is as of 2009 census data. Catalyst has done a study of some of the specialty trades. So as of 2009, what we're looking at, the percentages are either the same or they're lower, which means that as of 2009, the federal stimulus package, which was supposed to include women, did not do much. Now we'll see in years in 2011 how the data looks, but as of today, women are starting out getting their share of jobs, and these are good paying jobs. What we really need to look at is the fact that women are coming in all of these decades in certain set numbers. And that to me was more disturbing than the low percentages. Because what it meant to me was that it was a tokenism that was at the slimmest of margins. So whoever left the industry, and there might have been a lot of attrition, they brought other people in, but they capped it at a certain very low percentage so it wouldn't be significant. And I think some of this is the reason that women in the qualitative research I did experience what they do on the job, because there hasn't been any push or any reason for either the contractors or the unionists to make a stink about changing conditions and accommodating women. And I just want to say, in last, because I really want to introduce anyone, they have such interesting things to say, is that this industry is a growth industry. Right now, things are skewed. However, with the green economy, with green building, with the electrical industry and the demand for it in New York City, these are prime jobs for women. There's on-the-job training and also high school diploma or college professions. So these are things that can really resolve the feminization of poverty. With that, I want to introduce the women of Local 3.